so excited for this project. I just hope it turns out as cool as I'm expecting it to, but we'll see when we get there. For years, I built a full haunted house maze for our Halloween party. But of course, once we had kids, it got harder and harder to find the time to get that done. So I just stepped back, focused more on the party and decorating our barn. But now my kids are a little older, I'm back at it. Last year I brought back the haunted house and it was the hit of the party. So this year I've decided I'm going to try to make it bigger and better than I ever have before. And wait till you see what Fright Props sent me at the end of this video. It just makes it all come alive. This is a massive project to take on top of decorating the barn and the yard and setting up a spot for my buddy's band to play this year. But honestly, it's one of my favorite things, so I don't mind. Last year I did a giant tree trunk that you could walk into for the start of the haunted maze, and if you didn't see that video, I'll put a link at the end of this video for you to click over and check it out. It's pretty cool. This year I decided I wanted to get that classic haunted house look with the front. Obviously I can't do it full scale, I wish I could, but this will be enough to give it that classic haunted house vibe. Honestly, I should have just built this where it was going to go instead of trying to carry it over. But I'm a moron, so, you know, at least you get an entertaining video out of it. I need to make sure that this is not going to fall over and hurt anybody. So to stand it up, I screwed it directly to the barn, and then I added this small sidewall that I made just to help add stability to it. And then I could dig a hole at the back corner and put a post down into the ground and screw that into the sidewall. Once I had it standing and it was solid, it was time to start working on the fake roof line. I'm going to be adding a fake dormer to the center of this to just give it that spooky classic haunted house look. Alright, here's the real question. Can I get this thing up on top of this and get it secure so it's not going to fall on anybody?
I used lag bolts to secure the roof to the wall, just to make sure it was extra strong. I'm also going to be putting a bracing 2x4 along the back a little later in this video. Alright, after all that, it was time to get to work on breaking down some pallets. Breaking down pallets is always a pain in the ass, even with this tool that my buddy Eric made for me a few years back. Thank you, Eric. I still use it all the time. I removed all the nails from these boards and then I could use those boards to cover this frame. And even as I started to put these boards on, it started to feel like my idea was going to work and I got really excited. The pallet wood gave it a perfect, creepy, rundown look. And there were even some gaps in the wood, which is perfect for the prop I'm getting from Fright Props and will be adding to this at the end. So I designed this whole frame with pallet wood in mind, so each section matches the width of the pallet boards. That way I could just nail up these boards quickly with my brad nailer and then come back with my chainsaw and cut out the windows and the doorway. Did you know that the chainsaw started as a birthing tool in hospitals? That's disgusting. For real, look it up. I wasn't super worried about this being perfect. It's supposed to look creepy and it's just for one night, so using a chainsaw to cut this worked great. Once I got the siding all the way up to the roof line, I wanted to create an arched doorway. So I traced the curb onto some plywood using this fireplace insert I had laying around, and then I just used my jigsaw to cut it out and framed it with some scrap 2x4s. And with that, I had my arch perfectly cut out and I could just screw it up onto the doorway. Alright, for the dormer up on the top, I wanted to add a hexagon window. I believe to make a hexagon you need a 33 1/3 angle. I can't remember. I'll Google it and put it here, or Google it yourself. I don't know. Regardless, I nailed and screwed all of this together and then I could bring it up on the ladder and slide it right into place. Alright, so next up was the roof. I wanted this to have a different look than the walls to separate everything. So I cut some plywood panels that would match the shape of the roof and then I could nail those on. And then I cut small pieces of pallet wood, which I'll be attaching vertically to create an old shingle look. I put on my first row and then I moved up, put on my second row
overlapping the row below it. I did the same thing, moving up slowly. And then while I was in the middle of making this roof, my buddy Tom stopped by and dropped off an awesome gift. He made me a 3D printed die-trying light box. Thanks so much, Tom. It's awesome. He's an incredible artist and has an awesome Instagram. Go check it out. It's down below. This is just the one that's going to go up high. I decided to make this one in the workshop and then carry it up the ladder and attach it that way. The other two roof lines I built right in place, and that seemed to be easier actually. I stained these with some green weathered stain just to kind of give them a mossy look. I'm going to be adding some dead vines to the front of this at some point. I just haven't done it yet. Alright, for the dormer I had to work around that hexagon window that I made earlier. This time I was going to have to use the miter saw because using a chainsaw up on top of a ladder just seemed like a bad idea to me. So I'd bring each piece up and using a pencil mark it, bring it back down, and cut it on the miter saw. It was a pain in the ass, but worth it. I had to cut out this arch that would fit around the doorway just to make sure that it was sticking out as far as all the siding was. I just had this old wood laying around and it worked perfect for this. Cut it to shape with my jigsaw and just rip down the length of it on my table saw. And I could just bring it over and nail it up. Did the same for the other side. Once all the walls were done, I painted them with charcoal, and there I am just nailing all of these pallet pieces vertically like I did before for the other roof line. I really love this roof. It's something very cool about it. And then it was time to do some trim around the windows and a few spots to separate the door from the walls. I had some old molding laying around that a friend of mine had given me. It was actually pretty nice, and maybe I shouldn't have used it for this, but it's been laying around for years, so who cares. The molding really helped give everything some character and separated all of the roof, siding, and details. At first I wasn't sure about adding fake window panes because I'm definitely going to be putting monsters coming out these windows, but in the end, putting on these crooked window panes I felt like really helped sell the haunted house vibe. I'll be lighting these up from the inside so it feels like something's lurking behind the windows. And speaking of lurking, I built plenty of moving props in the past, and I have always depended on FRIGHT props for their windshield wiper motors, but this year, FRIGHT props was kind enough to send me a pre-made animatronic. And honestly, it's perfect for people who love Halloween but don't necessarily want to build props from scratch. They've got all sorts of pre-made animatronics, kits if you want to just do a little DIY, and all of the motors and parts you'd ever want to power your haunted house. So whether you're real into making your own stuff or you want something that just works right out of the box, FRIGHT Props is the place to go. I've been saying it for years and I stand by it. This arm kit that they sent me is powered by a wiper motor, and I love how it reaches out of the wall towards anybody who wants to walk through the front door. And it adds motion to the front of the building, which makes this whole haunted house feel alive. Big shout out to FRIGHT Props for hooking me up. I'm going to drop a link down in the description. You should definitely go check them out. There's still time to grab some stuff and have it sent to your house so you can scare the hell out of the kids in your neighborhood. Alright, to mount this, I just cut a hole through the siding so that it looks like it's punching its way out. And now anyone who wants to enter this haunted house is going to have to squeeze past this moving arm. I'm going to be building a whole entire back off of this, and I got a whole bunch of fun ideas for the inside. So hit that subscribe button and stick around for part 2 because it'll be out in a few weeks, and you can see the whole maze wrapping around the back of my barn. Thanks guys, enjoy your Halloween season.
Bye, see you again, and have a good dream.